What's going on, everybody? Very excited to be here. Let's see. Something is not showing up right now. It's a bummer. But what's going on? So today we're doing a live Q&A stream. I will be answering your questions. Let me just make sure I can see the chat here. Bring that over to Sky right here. There we go. All right. So ask your questions in the Google form below. I'll try to be attentive to the chat, but that's always a little variable. So yeah, and essentially I'm going to be going in order. We've got the form right here, and then let me just wrap this. Where's wrapping? Edit. Format. There we go. Thank you, Google. Format. Wrapping. Wrap. Beautiful. Now I can see these times. And yeah, so I'll be going in order of this and making sure you're here. So if you're here, then I'll answer your question first, and I'll basically be checking if you're here and then going down the list. Yeah, so if you don't already know, this event is the stream is part of the Godot Jam event. The link for that should be in the description. Awesome little game jam. Or should I say, not so little, because we're almost at 1,000. We are the #1 game jam on itch. Can I get a woot woot? And yeah, it's a great first jam, last jam, whatever you want to do. It's very cool. The theme is energy source has been announced. Very excited. It was a lot of people's first jams, and we'll be playing all your games live on stream once that's over. You can support the jam and all the creators and also the Godot engine on the website by donating, and 50% goes to Godot, 50% goes to the people that set up the jam and spent their time and money organizing all this stuff. Not so much to people like me who kind of just go on here and have fun with you guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Please ask your questions and I will do my best to answer them. As I said in the Google form, 3D is not really my thing. And I'm just okay with shaders, but everything else is fair game. You can also ask really whatever you want. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Actually, let me, because I really want, oh, it is showing. Okay, good. Yeah, so we've got the XP bar here at the bottom, hopefully you can see, which is an app I made in Godot that essentially goes to the live stream here and then allows me to do cool stuff that way. Tia Booney, I wanted to participate in the jam, but I'm not good enough yet. Maybe next time. I think you're good enough, Tia Booney. I think you could put out something. I think that's the point, is like push yourself. If you don't finish something, whatever, you learned a lot in the time period. That's always what happens. And even if you put out something that you're like not super duper proud of, right? One, you can always delete it. But two, it's going to be a fantastic learning experience. And yeah, so I highly recommend you do it. Yeah, Tia Booney. Mart Lepanen, or Lepanen, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I might need to drop, so feel free to prefer something else. Is there any way to see a live preview of the camera in the editor while also changing its transform, kind of like in Unity? Live preview of the camera. I'll do that after Tia Booney's questions, but I'll just basically tell you how I would do that. What you can do is use, what's it called? Viewports. So if we go here and we add a viewport, is it not a viewport? There we go, yeah. So you can add a viewport to a viewport container node, and then you can just translate this movement, and then in the viewport, essentially you can cast whatever your camera live is to that viewport, so you can actually have that moving camera. Kind of cool. And I was actually trying to learn that because, like, in Super Smash Bros. And like Pokemon Stadium PS2, you can like see the live action replay up there. So that's all totally possible to do and very cool, and really not that hard, honestly. You can translate the camera and the object, so like what's on the camera will be moving, and then the actual object displaying it can be moving, and it'll work just fine. But anyway, let's get into Tia Booney's questions. Hello again, sir. This time I have a question about how to make a familiar pet entity that follows the player around, similar to the familiars in Binding of Isaac. I know Binding of Isaac, so I don't think I need to watch that. Optionally, it would be interesting to know how to make them walk on the ground, just like the player in a platform game, mimicking the player's movement. Thank you. So I actually kind of went over this in a previous stream. Let's see if I Yep, there we go, follower. So again, something I forgot to mention, all of what I'm going to be doing today is going to be available on my GitHub, which is in the description. And so you can go here, and then it should be, yeah, QA sessions. And I'll be pushing all the changes to GitHub. And so any code I'm going to show here is going to be on here. So let's go into follower test world. So you've got a leader, and then we've got a follower scene right here. So in here, I'm spawning the follower on the leader. And I don't think I perfected this, but we've got it mostly done. So essentially what happens is you've got, so I put the follower in the leader class, but that's probably not exactly how you want to do it. There's other ways to do that. But basically the idea is that you're going to have, every time you walk, you're going to add points, and then the follower is going to follow you on those points. So we can go ahead and just run this. Oopsies. Run this. Invalid get index points on base viewport. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. So you can see he follows me around. It's a little buggy right now. Oh yeah, that was one thing I needed to fix. But you can see he like follows. And then let me fix that real quick. I think that should be as simple as going into the leader script here. And then right now what I'm doing is I'm adding those points constantly in the physics process, right? Create points. So what I want to do is only create points if I'm moving. So let's see. So what I'll actually do is put create points in the movement function. So we'll say basically if not 0, then I'll just put create points here. Create points. And you can see I'll quickly go over that create points function. So create points, we've got an empty array here or list called points. And then all we're doing is we are appending our global position to that list of points. And then we're having our follower here in his script. All he's doing, function follow, putting that in the physics process. If leader.points and leader.point size equals leader max points, I might need to change that too. Then essentially, all we're going to do is say if blah, 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 blah. So this is just making sure we don't get too close, right? And we're saying as long as we're not so close to that, then global position equals leader.points pop front. So we're gonna move towards the point closest on that list, and we're generating that whenever we move here. So now if I run this, let's see. That was the problem with that. That shouldn't happen though. So if we're creating the points whenever we're moving, it still should have all those points. And then in the follower script, I think there's the problem. If leader.points and leader.points.size, maybe I don't want this in there. Let's comment that out. Because he should still follow even when we stop. That's obviously the problem here. Okay, so create points. Points not append global position. And then follower if leader.points and leader.points. I think we just want to do this. I don't know why I'm doing that. If there is points, if global position distance, so for as long as we're follower, so we could do this actually. Say if leader.points and that. So if the leader has a path essentially, right? And global position dot distance to leader.global position, right? Is greater than 200. So we're at least 200 pixels away from the leader. Then we update our global position to equal leader.points.popfront. Now, let's see if that works. So there's still a little bit of a hiccup there when we start and stop for some reason. But as you can see, it's pretty good. And I think what I would rather do than in the create points function for the leader is, no, I think this is probably the best way to do it. Yeah. I just want to fix that snap. So if you look at right here, when he's moving, this is great, and then he comes to a halt there. But then once we start again, so I think what I should probably do is in the follower, rather than just say our goal position equals that, I think what I'd like to do is like kind of lerp to that position. So lerping just allows you to do like smooth movement or smooth changes between two things. And let's just go ahead and so lerp. And then what does it take as arguments? It takes from variant to variant by weight float. So from variant, we want to do leaders.points.pop front. Oopsies. Okay, that's where we want to go to from our global position, and then by amount, we want to then set that amount. So by how much do we want to do that? This should be a number from 0 to 1. And typically you don't want to set this hard. Like you don't want to just do like 0.5 because then it won't adjust, right? I don't think this is going to work, but let's just see how that looks. Oh, it's not even working a little bit. Okay. Oh, because we need to say global position equals that. Okay. That's not bad. I mean, that's basically what we had before, but I do think it's a little bit smoother. And then all we need to do to adjust like the follow length is then just change in the leader. So we'll say max points 40 right now. We can change that to 60, and he'll now follow from farther away. Yeah. And so you can see that he follows the path. He's not just following us, but he's following the path of us, which is cool. And so if we change this to something like 200, he's going to have a really far follow distance. Or he should. Don't quite know why. Maybe there was a reason I did that. Let's see. Interesting. Obviously that works pretty well. But it's weird that I can't increase the follow distance. I also don't obviously like that snappy behavior there. Let me just read chat real quick. Mark 11, it turns out there was just a button for it, a preview checkbox, sorry. Oh yeah. You need to look into viewports. Thank you for your contribution to the community. Really enjoy your streams. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So saucies. I've actually just finished my Godot Jam 2 game, ahead of the game, and am doing some pre-release polishing and bug fixing. This was after I canceled 3 other plans, but I did it. Dude, nice. That's pretty... You're ahead of the game and now you're polishing. I mean, I typically like barely get the thing out there on a game jam, and then I have a bunch of bugs that people have to deal with. So that's pretty awesome. I could give the familians in my game wings and not bother with them jumping around like the player character. Yeah, so I think I do need to just do a little code. I think what actually might be better here is to make this a tween. So we don't even have to do yeah, I don't even think we have to do this in physics process. So what I'm going to do is make a new tween. So we're in the follower. I'm going to add a tween. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just access it right here. So we'll say onReadyVar. onReadyVar tween equals tween. And then what I'll do here is then I'll just tween. So I'll say tween dot interpolate property, and we'll say self global position to oh, you know what? Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, just want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. So leader points.pop front is what we want here. And I'll go over how to, like, the basics of tweens in a second if you don't know. So which object from to, and then we need the duration, which is probably going to be like 0.1 second. And then it's weird that it is not initial variant, final variant, duration 0.1 seconds. And then it usually transition type, ease type. So it usually is much kinder about this and doesn't make me write all this out. So we should do tween. It's not, it usually pops up with the options, and I honestly don't even know. Let's do tween dot interpolate property self global position global, this doesn't even matter, global position times 2 0.1. Huh, why is it not telling me? Trans type tween dot, okay, so I guess I'll just have to do it that way. That's fine. It usually auto suggests, which is nice because you shouldn't have to memorize how to do this. But so I'll do a translinear, right? And then, I mean, you could do this in any way you want, potentially. Yeah. In fact, let's actually do trans sign. And then, and if you don't know, you can just go to easings.net. Really, really nice. And you've got all of the different tweens. So an ease sign is going to look like this. And we want it to do this one, actually. We want it to slowly come to a stop. So we're going to do a tween.transout. See, this is what it usually does. And then, I don't know. Interesting. So maybe that was a me problem. What the heck? No. Is this an update? Sorry, this is, I've done this 100 times and never had an issue. So, so we have self, start, final, duration, trans type, ease type. Yeah, and then optionally a delay. So yeah, this should be tween trans sign, and then we should do tween dot right there. Ease, there we go. That's weird that I have to do that manually. I don't know why that's happening. Maybe someone, I'll read the chat in a second. So we're gonna do tween ease out. And then I guess we can make this 0.2 seconds. And then, so the problem right now is that this is being called in the physics process, and we don't want to call this in the physics process. What we want to do is, So when do I want to call this, essentially? I want him to interpolate to those points whenever this is true. So I guess we could do this, and then we could tween towards that one, pop front. Here's what we'll do. Here is what we will do. I'm going to add let's go to tween node. I'm going to connect this signal here, and I'm going to make a flag. It's going to say var is tweening. Okay, and we're gonna set this equal to true. I'm sorry, false. What the hell? Okay, there we go. And then what we're going to say here, and we're gonna say, and not is underscore tweening. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here is we say tween dot start, and then we're gonna say is underscore tweening equals true. And then here, what we're gonna do is tweening equals false. All right, now, so essentially what's happening is that in the physics process, we're constantly going to be monitoring to see if we can move, right? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tween ourselves to the next point in the array via this, right? And yeah. We're going to tween ourselves to the next point in the array via this, and then once we do, we're going to not keep running this. So that way this can only run when we're still tweening. And now I don't think this will fix all of our problems, but hopefully it looks a little better. Convert to argument from vector 2 to node path. This needs to be that. That's what I fucked up. That's so funny. I'm dumb. Okay. Okay, clearly that is taking way too long. So let's set this to like 0.01. It's just me, or is that worse? It's objectively worse. First off, let's change this to translinear. Translinear, and then let's do ease in out. Okay. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the move to tween it. Yeah, that's because max points is cutting it. Yeah, okay, so that's not gonna work out. Let me read the chat real quick and then I'll worry about actually fixing this. Okay. Yeah, that is good. Certainly a lot smoother than at first. I could give it blah, 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 blah. I have also managed to do this feat in the first Godot jam, which was my first ever Godot jam. The secret is to simplify the game plan until you can't, and cancel the game plan and make a new one if you can't oversimplify the current one. Feel that. 3.4.16 on a bug where you don't always get the suggestions while writing code. I've had it happen to me while making if statements. I actually have not updated to Godot 3.4 yet. Because I'm sure there's going to be a Godot 3.4.1 that's going to be like, we fixed all the bugs. So I'm like, I'm going to wait for that one. And yeah, okay. So I guess I actually have to get a little more creative with how he's actually going to follow the leader here. So we should be able to do what I originally had, actually. Global position equals leader dot points dot pop underscore front. So if you don't know what pop front is doing, is it just takes the front the very first thing in the list, which in our case is actually going to be the end of the list. And if we do this, hopefully now it does what it originally was supposed to do. Okay. Now, let's see if I do pop back. Yeah, now he's just glitching to the front. So yeah, it is pop front. It's my girlfriend calling me. Hold on. Uno momento. Okay. Nope. You know what? I'm dumb because I totally forgot that I'm supposed to put this in here. So I'm gonna put follower. Have it and then start. Okay, there we go. I knew I was gonna blow that, but I don't know why. So anyway, the point is that this will generate a thing at the end for me. So glow position equals leader.points.pop front, right? And then in leader, I don't understand that, right? Because if we've got a list of 200 points, I don't think I want this though. Oh, I see. The problem is just that when we do this, we're doubling up on the points at that position. Okay. So you just don't want that. What's going on in the debugger here? No yelling at get node. Yep. That. And we also don't need that anymore. Okay, argument delta is never using the function physics process. That's cool. So think about exactly what I'm trying to fix here, right? I want to be able to adjust how many points let's do this. Let's say elif is less than or equal to 200. Then we say leader leader dot points dot I think it's clear. Let's do this. Array, and then here we can search. Yeah, clear. So this will clear the list. All right, let's give that a shot. No sir. Because it keeps getting to me and then it keeps clearing it is the problem. Let's do this. Let's say, I think this is going to fix it. So we're going to say var point equals leader.points.pop front. And then here we'll say point. And then here we'll say if point. If leader.points and actually we need to do this. So if leader.points. So if he has a point, then we do this, and we put that in there. Okay. So if leader.points var point equals leader.points up front, then we say if the distance from the point to the leader.global position is greater than 200, then we're going to move towards that point. Yeah, and then I can delete this. Well, here, let's comment that out. And then let's give this a shot. See what that looks like. Oh, nope, didn't want to comment that out. There we go. Why? Why are there only 2 points in that list? Oh, because he's popping them constantly, right? Ah, I see. I see, said the blind man, as he picked up his hammer in the saw. You know what? No, that would be more challenging. This is like a fun challenge. I'm kind of perturbed that it's taking me this long to solve it, but okay. So we're adding the points. We're checking if the point distance here, but the problem with this is that we're always going to drop the points within this range, right? So what we actually want to do is then just wait here. Until that is true. And then we want to do it. So we still want to follow all the points, but we only want to follow the points once they are this. So, so I think I'm going to change point to, well, we'll just do this. Leader.points 0. So this is the first point, right? And then we're going to say if point.distance to this, then we're going to say, well, we can just do it this way. So leader.points dot pop front. Okay, now, so the idea here, we check if he has points. If he does have points, we check the first position, and then we check. Now, once that position is more than 200 pixels away, then we move to it. Okay, now we're back where we started, but I like the code a lot better. I still don't understand why it's patchy like that, though. Like when you do that, why does it twitch like that? Ah, that's why. Maybe this is a time where I either give up or totally scrap the system, but I do kind of want to move on. So I know that, so we've got something, we can use a path 2D node, right? And we can constantly, so we go path 2D. For path, follow 2D nodes to follow. So the path 2D here is essentially just doing what we do. So if we go back here, you can see it's just got a curve which we can draw, and is basically just points. So we can add points to the curve, right? And then we can have it follow that curve. But it's doing exactly what we're doing. So, but I feel like there's got to be stuff built in there to kind of interpolate through the path rather than the points. Bake interval. This is between two adjacent cached points. Changing it forces the cache to be recomputed the next time get baked points or get baked length. Ah, okay. So that I think is the key. That is the key. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna go ahead and add a path 2D, okay? And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say on ready bar points, and then we're gonna say, we'll do this, equals, and we'll say path 2D. Now, let me just open up the path 2D docs real quick. So we've got the curve, blah, blah, blah. As in here you say get baked points? Yeah, here we say get baked points. Okay. And so baked length. Returns the total length of the curve. Yeah, so that's fine. We want to just do get baked points. And so what baking should do is it should allow us to control, like if we add too many points in one bit, it won't like chop up through those points, right? It'll just pick the smoothest path based upon the bake interval. So what we'll do here, also let me make sure, curve.add point. Okay. So we'll go now, rather than points.append, we'll say dot curve, okay? And here we'll say points. Sign value doesn't have a set type, the value can't be inverted. That's fine. Okay. So say points dot add point, global position, okay? And then yeah, if points dot size is greater than max points, and then let's see, what is it? Add point, clear points. Is there just remove point? Yep, remove. Oh, but you have to do it by the index, not the value. But that's fine. So we'll just do remove point -1, and I think that should work. Oh no, I think in path 2D we can set a max length. No, but then that won't clip like we want it to. So say, and you know what I'm also going to do is add a line 2D here, just so we can visualize what's happening. Equals line 2D. And then all I'm going to do for the line 2D is then just say points, and then we'll just do the same thing. So we'll do, let's actually make sure I'm doing that right. Line 2D. Yeah, we'll just do add point. Okay. We can actually just say points equals curve dot get baked points. So we'll do that. So I'll say line 2D. Oopsies, no. Line dot points equals points dot get baked points. Okay, cool. So then that should work there. And now what we're doing is create points for points.add point, our global position, constantly in the physics process. And then we say if point size equals that, then we say points.remove point. And then the index, -1 should remove from the end of the list. This is going to break the follower. So we're going to do leader dot points dot get underscore baked points. Okay, so leader dot points. Yeah, if leader dot points, let's actually make this. We'll say var points, and then we'll do equals leader dot points. Okay, and then we can just change all of these to just say points. Or in fact, we'll do this dot get underscore baked points. Okay, so now we can just say points equals point, and then we'll take the first point, so 0.0, points, point equals points 0. Okay, and then we'll say if point.distance to leader.goal position is greater than 200, because it equals leaders.point. I don't think pop is going to work. We'll find out real quick. Yeah. Not conventional function size in curve 2D. We can say get underscore baked length here. Okay. Non-existent function pop front. Okay. So let's go back to the curve. So let me read chat. Okay. Arpuya, hey, what's going on? Yeah, something that falls on player. So we did this a little bit in a stream previously, but I'm trying to kind of perfect it because this is something that is a very common want. So right now I'm finally using the path 2D, and I would like to. Essentially what I'm trying to do is make it so that it's not broken anymore, because I just changed it, so I have to make sure everything works. So pops, you can't use pops for some reason on the curve 2D. A Bezier curve into space, get point count, get point in, get point out, get point, yeah, let's do this. It returns the position of the control point leading out of the vertex. Is relative to the vertex. Vertex out of bounds. Sends an error to the console, of course. Returns the position of the control point leading out of the vertex. Okay, that's not what we want. Set point in, set point out, set point position. Tessellate. Returns a list of points along the curve with a curvature controlled by point density. Okay, no, that's not what we need. So there is no pop, which is kind of annoying. Get baked points, get closest offset, get closest point, get point count. Oh, get closest point is cool. Okay. So rather than popping, we want to, so this is in the follower script, we want to just remove that point. So we want to say goal position equals point, right? And then what we want to do is then remove that point. So point, oh no, then we just say, and hopefully remove works, points dot remove point. That'll probably not work, but let's give it a shot. I get one from vector2 to int. Ah, we need the erase function, I think. Non-existent. Oh, come on. Come on. So pool vector2 array, right? We've got remove, but they don't have erase. Oh. Insert, invert, pushback, remove, resize, set, size. Oh, what does resize do? That might do it. Sets the size of the array. If the array is grown, reserves elements at the end of the array. The array is shrunk, truncates the array to the new size. That's not what I want. What I would like to do is just remove that point. Oh, but we can actually just do that. So you remove 0. Yeah. All right, let's see. So there's my path. It's weird though, because it's, for one thing, obviously lots of errors. The player's not following and it's drawing not behind him. Oh, because that is we need, say, a Z. So say var start underscore pos equals global position. This is just for the drawing, right, part, and then we'll say unready var start pos, and then we'll say line dot global position equals start position. Okay, and then that should solve that. Let's also see what all these errors are for. Remove point index is out of bounds, point size 18. Why does it do that? Okay, I think we can just say, yeah, we can just say get size to get the size of the array, right? So we can go back to the curve 2D, and then we can say get baked length. Okay, returns the total length of the curve based on cached points. Okay, so get banked length. So we can just do this. Points dot get baked length. All right. All right, well now at least it's drawing the correct path for us. That's a good sign. Yeah, that's a very good sign. It's drawing the path correctly. Although I don't know why that just happened. But obviously we're still getting errors. Oh, so we can just do points.size. And that should give us the last one, right? You're using it! Okay. All right. Did you, like, look at this. The error that it is giving me is that points.size equals 18. Okay, well, let's go back here, curve. Oh, we can do get baked points.size. Okay. All right. Points dot get baked points dot size, right? Oh my God, why did they make that so impossible to do? of position 2D on the player and the follower and constantly tween the position of the follower to the position 2D. That honestly might... So no, yeah, so that's what I had before, but the problem with that is like if you want your follower to do what you do, right? So like let's say you're running like this and you go hop, 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 and you tween, he's just gonna go straight up the steps. Whereas if you have a path, if you jump 3 times, your follower is also gonna jump 3 times. Just like if you go like this, right, you're like going in circles like that, your follower should go on that path, right? So that's what we're trying to get. And the only thing that seems to be killing me right now is that I can't pop the last point off the array for some reason. Remove point index, right? And so let's do print points. Just so I can see exactly what's happening here. It's printing the curve 2D. So we want to say points.remove point. So we want to say points dot. Is there get points? Only get baked points, right? Get point count. Point count. Okay, now let's do get underscore baked length. What? How is that a float? Okay, that is super weird. Am I crazy? Get baked length. Returns the the total length of the curve. So I should be able to do get baked points dot size. Get baked points dot size. Okay, and then that's also what this should be right here. Okay. Okay, so that's okay. So now it's working, but we need to now remove the last point. And that is for some reason giving us a lot of trouble. Points.size. Like that's all I want. That's all I want to do is just say points.size. Like remove the last one. And for some reason it's not letting me do index of -1, which is very, very helpful. Like where is this points.size coming from, dude? I can't say that. Add point, clear points, get baked length, get baked point, get closest offset, get closest point, get point count, get point in, get point position, interpolate, interpolate baked, interpolate F, remove point. Okay, let's see if they give you an example here. And I imagine I can't do, yeah, points.size doesn't work. Are get point count and get point big points outside the same thing? Okay, we just need to do points dot get underscore point count. They are not the same thing. Okay, so let's try this then. Please so work. Ah. I did that here as well somehow? That's weird. Invalid get index points on base curve 2D. Ah. Hey, no errors. But it does not look like we're actually removing the points. Print points not get point. Okay. First of all, this is way too high. Set this to like 60. Okay, now we're getting there somehow. Ah, this needs to be -1. Let's see if that works. Okay, but now it's removing from the wrong side. Do not tell me. Oh my god. This should just be a 0. Okay, so now we've gotten that out of the way, and you can see that he's going to follow that path, but we obviously want him to get closer than that to me. Okay, and then we can change the baked interval and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go to follower. Points dot remove 0. If point dot goal distance leader equals 200, goal position equals point, points dot remove 0. I don't quite see why that's not working. For one thing, let's just change points to be curve. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's the only thing I broke there. Let's see if this still works. Ah. All right. There we go. Curve. Okay, cool, very cool. Now, I just don't really understand why he is stopping all the way over there, because he should follow the path all the way till he hits us. So if points exist, var point equals points dot 0. If we set this like 50, I don't think that's the problem. Oopsies. That is not the problem. Oh, but rather than doing a distance to, what we can say is if points dot size right? And that should give us the size of the points. The problem is this is getting, the baked point seems to be a much larger number. So let's print points dot size here. Actually, let's do this, and then I'll print. And then I also need to come back into the follower script, or the leader script, I should say, and delete this. Oh, because I'm doing that. Okay. Okay. So if I was going to do it that way, I would need to use the other points, but I'm just interested. So this is the distance to the player, or distance from that point, the next point, to the player, right? And as you can see, it's clearly above 50. It's like 900. So I don't understand why this isn't running. Goal position equals point dot remove 0. Print moving. That's not what I wanted to do. Well, first off, let's go here and change the bake interval, right? So distance between 2 cached points. So let's set this to like 100. Say that works. I mean, obviously, if this is what you want, that's fine, and we could just change that, but I want him to like lag behind and then have to catch up. Like, why is he not following the path? I doubt that's the cause, but let's see. No, that is not the cause. In fact, that breaks it. So it's only following the last point for some reason. So if points exists, we want the point to equal the first point in the list. Okay, and the second, if that point distance to leader is greater than 50, move towards that point. Is it because this is not a float? Keep doing that. Let's see. No, that is not why. Ooh, baby, baby. La 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 la. Dude. I don't get it. I feel like I've hit a wall here. Of course, we could go back to this. Right, we could just go back to this. If global position dot distance to leader dot global position is, and then we set this to greater than 200, then we just go to that point. Okay. Damn! What the hell, man? How does that not work? Any of you guys got no ideas? It does? Okay, maybe I'll give up. I hate that I can't solve this. If global position dot distance to leader dot global position is greater than 200. So we know this is true. We know, so this is for some reason not happening, right? Print moving. I keep doing that. Damn you, GD script. No, yeah, I mean, it's just like if you want a nice path, it's so weird to me that that's not working. I really don't know. I mean, yeah, I'll come back to this later. For right now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. So let's go ahead and push these changes to my GitHub. Again, the link's in the description. QA sessions, okay. And so we'll say follow leader. Okay, commit to main, push origin. Fantastico. All right, so we'll just say that. I don't know why I couldn't solve that. It's bugging me, but okie doke. All right, X. What is happening? All right. Haha, look at that. In case my other questions are too complex to be done during the stream or not interesting enough, here's another one. How would you make a character select screen in Godot? Here are two examples from either Enter the Gungeon and or Teenage Ninja Turtles. When I select scroll, I get tearing when this camera scrolls. How do I fix that? Let's see. I just don't even know what camera tearing means. You mean this? Like that, like weird, this type thing? That should not happen. That is super weird that that's happening. But we can do that. So making a side-scrolling game. I mean, yeah, I mean, like for instance, if I just went ahead and put a camera 2D on this guy, and then we set it to current, And then we'll go to smoothing enabled. That's going to be helpful. And then we can change the limit here. Isn't it limit? No, drag margin. That's what we want. Drag margin. Why is it not showing drag margin? Okay, view. Oh, there we go. Draw limits. That's not what we want, though. We need draw drag margin. There we go. Okay, cool. I don't know why that's not on by default. And then let's do this. Oh, but now we're, whoopsies. We're following the follower here. So let's take you, put you here. I think I might have just, yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not getting clipping. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, maybe if you could link me to something in there. I don't know what else to call it. My Game Jam game is 2D side scroll with a tile map. When the camera scrolls, sometimes parts of the tile map shear. Perhaps that is the correct term. Okay. Like they get blurry? Like how in that image, let's see. Let me just open that right back up. Like it looks like this. What the hell? Interesting. So like it looks like this, but flipped. Is that what you're saying? Or whatever. Yeah, if you want to go like submit another question and link the GitHub to that. I mean, submit the same question, just put the link to your GitHub, and I can check that out if you want. But it's just, I think that's very weird. Oh, maybe this guy. Graphic tearing in full screen. I mean, this is Unity, but something like that, maybe. It's like what you're trying to talk about. Huh. I've never had that happen, though. I've made several side-scrolling games. Let's see. Do I have any right now? Yeah, I've got one. Okay, so let's do this. I got a lot of stuff open. Need almost all of it. Okay. How's the experience thing working, by the way? Is that everyone's chat still showing up there and stuff like that? Oh yeah, I totally also already forgot that I've got to... This is just not working for me. Okay, and then so let's do camera shearing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, all right, cool. Thanks, Tiabuni. Tiabuni. I don't know how what that accent mark means about the pronunciation. Yeah, I don't really know why you would be getting shearing. And then is it happening without the tile map? Like if you just put an image on there? So for instance, like if I just add a sprite and then I go to icon, just there, and then we'll make the sprite huge. Why is it doing this to me? I've never even been able to do that before. This is weird. Yeah, something's bugged right now. Whatever, I'll do the scale. Oh, then it's not gonna let me move it though. Ah, that's not good. Here, let me just quit this real quick. Maybe just go back. Oh, did I? Oh no, that's because it was in another one. So. There we go. Okay, cool. I've never had that happen to me before. Okay. You've only seen it happen with the tile maps. Okay. Can I copy that wrong? Huh. It's weird. It says not found. Is your directory private? Is it private or public? But yeah, I can just make a quick tile map here. Just got to remember how I do this. New tile set. Add. Open. Single tile. Huh? Yeah, that'll work, right? Okay. Should be able to recreate it. Like a fill tool. Yeah. There we go. Okay. And then let me just modulate this a little bit. That'll do. That looks like dirt, kind of. All right. It's weird. Why am I not? There we go. So are you seeing it here? Like, is it pixel art? Is it... Okay, so it wasn't public. Oh, that's weird that the line's all fucked up. But, sounds real fucked up here, but that's okay. Okay. That's weird. Maybe the link changed now? I don't know. It's not letting me go there. But I don't know, man. That's definitely weird. So there's some things to check with that. See if I can remember these. So there is like pixel... Oh, let's see if this is better. So per pixel transparency, use GPU pixel snap. If you're using pixel art, you might want to turn that on. Very cool. Yeah, so that's one thing you can try. Does it like yeah, so it's not letting me visit the GitHub, and I've never seen this happen. So if you can like get a working link, I'll be happy to hop in there. But for right now, this seems to be, it might just be on your end. Use the GPU pixel snap. I have to go let my girlfriend in. All right, I will be back in very second. And we're back. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, my girlfriend forgot her keys and she was locked out of our apartment. So, I know, how dare I? You guys are more important, but, I actually, okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, fuck. Now, where is it? So go to File. Asset scenes, actors, autoloads, components. Demo scene? Okay, let's see. All right, let's try to do this. All right, I've got this open. Let's do cool. Okay. Now I want to do, nope. Oh, god damn it. Copy raw contents. And then we'll do touch. Scene dot demo dot tscn. Okay, and then we'll do nano demo dot tscn. Paste. That was weird. Anyway, okay, and then we should just be able to do Control O. Cool. And then for the .gd, basically do the same thing. I don't know if this will work. Demo.gd, nano demo.gd, paste, and then Control O, Control X. Okay. All right, let's see if this works. So we fix broken. We don't have any of these dependencies because I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm just gonna download the whole thing. so funny that I thought that would work. I swear that's worked. Just dragging and dropping should work. Well, we can just do this. Oh, there it is. Hope yeah, Godot sometimes just doesn't import the assets. Sometimes you gotta just kind of finagle it by like moving stuff around. Weird. No. All right, well, I'll just restart it then. Now I should re-import all that. I think because it's so big, sometimes it has that problem. But sometimes it's just like a single... Still not there. Why is it not there? It's right there. We know it's right there. Is it because it's... Oh, I think it's because it's an entire project. I'm a dumbass. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is the one you're having a problem with. Get access. Whoa. Unhandled key input. Not going to get access and base input default. Oh, because this is probably Godot 3.4 code. Okay. Let me just cheat a little bit then, and use oh no, that's not gonna work. What is the... I've never used the unhandled input for something like this. Get access. UI left, UI right. Here, let's... I mean, I doubt that this will fix all our problems, but I'm sure it'll make more than it'll fix, but let's just do this. Because I don't know what the... I've never used this, so I don't know what the other equivalent would be. Okay, now we just need all of those. Let me just go back here and yoink all these variables. Cool. The member, oh no, what? Okay, well, let's do this then. Oh, I'm not calling it. Are you seeing what you were seeing? Because I don't see anything. I'm not seeing any tearing. Also moving lightning fast because I have it set that way. Let's change that. Change max val to 300 maybe. Acceleration 25. I don't see anything. Are you talking about how some of the rungs are different sizes? I don't know. That could be it. I mean, I really don't know. That is odd to me that that would happen. Could be your monitor. I don't really understand much about like the refresh rate and stuff like that, but yeah, okay. So I mean, yeah, so I think that might just be something with your monitor. I don't think that's something with Godot. So but yeah. I've had the top half of a tile be offset from the bottom. That's really, I mean, maybe it's a 3.4 thing. I don't know. I mean, I've never had anything like that happen. So that might be, you might want to try checking out the earlier release. I don't know what this one is, but yeah. All right. Again, if anyone has questions, go ahead and drop them in the link below or in chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm going to go ahead and try to answer Tiabuni's other question, and then we might finish it up, or I will potentially go back to this because it's burning in me that I didn't solve that. Oh, okay. So we can go. I remember this time. Active. Okay. And then, in case my other question is too complex, blah, 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 here is a different one. How would you make a character select screen in Godot? Here are two examples, one from either dungeon. Okay, so let's do character select screen. That and start it. Okay, so here are two examples. Why it no be nice to me? Okay, so something like this. So in terms of the code versus, or are you talking about more so the, I don't know if you're still here too, Booney, but in terms of the code or in terms of like the visuals, how would you get like kind of this effect? Because that I can definitely help you out with. But it's ironic that you thought that the other one was the hard one and this is the easy one, because this is a very complex thing because you're dealing with a lot of moving parts. But I can actually point you to something that I think is going to be pretty close. So if we go to, let's go, not solenoid, what's it called? Why am I blanking on my own game's name? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go to my itch. Lunar Bastion, okay. And then, so that's gonna be, if you go to my GitHub, somewhere over here. Here we go, Game Off Game Jam Lunar Bastion. Okay, so if we do, okay, so the point of this, all right, visuals you can handle. Okay, so here's an example of one. It's not quite a character select, but you can, for instance, choose the gun you want to spawn, right? And then, you know, go here and you can spawn that gun. It spawns. Okay. So something like that. The basic way I would do this is using kind of lists and stuff like that. So let's go here. Add a, oopsies, not this one. QA and yeah. And let's do new folder. Okay, say car select. Okay, and then I'll delete that file. Okay, and then clear this, and I'm gonna make a new user interface. Okay, and then, so let's say we'll have 4 characters you can select from, and I'll go ahead and just add a HBox container. And then, you know, visually you can mess with this a lot, but there's a lot of things to be had with, like you can make this dynamic and stuff like that, but with the control nodes, there's a lot of stuff you want to play around with. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this in the, let's do center, I guess. And then I'll go ahead and I'll add, what's it called? I want to add a texture rect. Okay, and then to this, I'll add the icon.png to the texture here. Okay, and then we'll do is expand, scale on expand. Okay, and then we'll go down here to size flags, and we'll on the vertical, we'll click expand. Okay, maybe don't do that. Well, so I was hoping that this would expand that way, but we can always just go to recommend size, and we can set this to 300. Set this to 300, like that, and we can do that. Oh, 300. 300. Okay, cool. So now we've got that like that. And that should work. Okay, so this will be, well, we'll just leave them right now. So I'll make a few duplicates. Cool, okay, now I can make a few duplicates. And then we'll just quickly change the colors so we know that they're different. I'll make you perfect. All right, so now we've got our 3 characters here. And then, so we want to be able to change through these. So what I'd probably do is make each of these guys a button, right? And then, so we'll go ahead and add a button. Yeah, we'll just make a basic button here, and we'll go up here to flat, and you can make it not flat if you want. All that means is it's not going to display decoration. Okay, and then what we want this to do, we want to go full rect, just like that, okay? And then I just like to go down to, I probably should have done this first, but then we can go here, paste it, and paste it. Okay, so now we've got these buttons, and we can add signals to them when they are clicked. So you can add that, or you can do it via like something else, right? And then you can display stats like that. So then what I'll do is we'll add a script up here. I'll also add a label node. So, and then this can have like stats. So we'll call this stats label. Okay, and then you can, for instance, so something, there are a lot of ways you can do this, right? Hey, Foroi, that's lit, that's very exciting. Yeah, so essentially, if you want to use arrow keys, it should be, I think, almost automatic. Let's see. So if I go down to button, and then I go to custom styles, focused, new style box flat, and then let's, yeah, okay. Okay, so QA sessions, QA session 9, character select, and we'll do select that scene. Yeah, so it's already working. So we can do, so if I just copied this, and then I can stick it on. Obviously that's not what you'd want, but I just don't think the other ones are going to show up on screen. So interesting, it no let me paste. Oh, but I forgot I just did the default. So custom styles, focused, style box font, custom styles, focus, style box font. Okay, now when I run this, I can. You can have one grab focus immediately, and then so what we can do is then when you hover over it, then it shows you which one you're hovering over, right? And you can just do the same thing with the mouse. And then something you want to do essentially is if you go to like any of these text directs, right? They're gonna have a focus entered signal, which is gonna be handy because if you have it enter the focus, you might want to adjust other things, right? Like we could, for instance, make them like glow or like make them turn white. Or what we can actually do, which I think I'm going to do, is I'm going to select all these guys, and then we're going to go to visibility, and it's not probably going to let me. I see, that's a problem. Okay. Oh, la 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 la. Okay. So go like 0.5, or even less, 0.3. Okay. Actually, we don't really need to do that, do we? So I'd make each one of these its own scene, right? And then we could do essentially that, like when focus is grabbed on one of them. So we'd add like a script here. Okay, and then we could just say, so we're gonna do this. And then we'll say focus entered. Okay, on ourself. And then we can also, for instance, do focus exited on ourself. And then here we'll say modulate.a equals 1.0. And then here, say modulate.a equals 0.3. Okay. And then what we'll do here, say function underscore ready, and then we'll say modulate dot a equals 0.3. Cool. Okay, and then now I can undo that. Okay, cool. Now I do this. Nope. Oh, flick. Load. There we go. Okay, cool. And then I should just be able to what's the strip called? Texture. Cool. Then I can just drag this script onto all these guys. Okay. Now if I run the scene, they'll all be kind of grayed out like that. Oh, why no worky? Okay. Ah, because it's not entering their focus. Oh no, it's because it's not connected on any of those. Alright, well, this is a little dirty, but we go. Okay. Self. No, let's do it this way. Sorry. Little digression here, but real quick. So we'll do this. And then I'll do that. And then we will disconnect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say save branches scene. And we want to save it right in the same place. Or select. And we'll call this character. Car. Okay. And then we'll go into here. Okay. And then we'll add. Create. So I'll do that. I'm going to make a new one. And then textdirect.gd. Okay, and then I will just go into like that. Okay, cool. And then we can go here, close that one, discard car, paste that. Cool. All right, now I'll do export bar color equals color. Okay. See if that works. Color. Okay, like that. That should work. And then we'll say modulate equals color. Cool. And then we'll go ahead and just connect those button signals. So focus entered and focus exited. Cool. Okay. Now I'll go back to this and then I'll just do that. And then the reason I did this so we can quickly just kind of change the color here to anything we want. So we'll change that one to red. Change this one to blue. We'll change this one to green. Okay. Now if I run the scene. There we go. Okay, so now it shows you a little bit of like what you're selecting. Now, the point of that was not to like go over, oh yeah, how cool does this look? Yeah. So you could change the picture. If you want to do like something like you showed me right here, this would actually be a pretty easy thing to do with a shader, and you don't really even have to understand shaders. You can like Google silhouette shader, and it will literally just make it so like you could have this be a column, see where that dashed line is, and then when not selected, you apply the shader, and then when selected, you don't apply the shader, right? So the shader would essentially make the background black and him a silhouette. It'd actually be like not super difficult, but the point was not to show you like, oh, this is a cool thing you can do. The point was just like, if you want to do something like that where you want to show them, right, you would do like focus entered, or you can also do on hover, right? So we might actually go into the scene here, because if you want someone to be able to choose with the mouse, you would want to do, here, let's go here. And then you want to, this is a big thing about controls in general that's important to know. Go to mouse, right? And then if it's on ignore, which a lot of them are by default, you won't be able to click, like if you have a button underneath that layer, like here's the button, here's that layer, you won't be able to click the button. But if you go and set this to pass, I'm sorry, usually it'll be on stop. Stop will not let you click the button. But if it is on pass or ignore, then you will be able to click anything underneath it. So I'm gonna set that to ignore just to be safe. And let's go to button here. And then we can go on There should be hovered, mouse entered, and mouse exited, right? Okay, and then we'll go here, and mouse exited. Okay, cool. And then I'll just do the same thing. Okay, cool. And then I'll come back over here. And now you can see if I hover my mouse over, we get the same effect. And typically what I do in my games is that I make it tween out, but I'm not going to do that right now. But you can, if you have any effects you want to show, you can have a tween in each of these scenes. And just like I did earlier in the stream, you could say tween.interpolate property, you know, whatever you're trying to interpolate, like maybe you're interpolating the shader, maybe you're interpolating the modulation, and then it looks like really smooth. I'm not going to do that right now though, because the point is kind of to show you what would happen. So, all right, so now we want to show like stats, right? So stats for each player, and then potentially, you know, like if we hover, maybe we want to show their name, but then if we, yeah, if we, I don't know, maybe you want it to show on hover or focus, or you only want it to show on click. So we could add something like a VBox container right here, and then I'll put this in center top. Okay, and then we'll do this like that, and then I'll add a label, and then let's see, do I have a .otf nope. Okay, so I need to add a font. I do have a font. Okay, calendar basic font. Cool. So we'll go to label here, and then we'll go to custom fonts. That's good enough. We just need something. Okay, cool. And then what I'll do is we'll say name. Also, I want to add a script here, so let's do that real quick. Let's add that script. And then we'll say on ready var car underscore container equals hbox container. Okay, and so you can do a little something like that. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll say function underscore ready. We will say car container dot get underscore children. And then we'll say, so this returns you an array of all the children, and we'll say 0, so we'll get the first child in that array. And then what we want to do is say grab focus dot grab underscore focus. So that didn't work. This control can't grab focus. Here. Grab underscore focus. So let's steal the focus from another control and become the focus control. Mode. Okay, where's focus here? Mode all. Yeah, let's just do that. Except we don't want that. Let's do this. So we'll make another function in here called grab focus. Function grab focus. And this will be different because you'll probably have the button. I would actually make the button the main thing. So you should make the button the parent, and then you should make the text rec and everything children of that button. That's how I would do it, but I'm here, so I'm dedicated. Okay, so we'll say here we need an on ready var. And then we should be able to say button dot grab focus. Okay, and then if we do this, hopefully it will call that. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So that way, when it starts now one has the focus, and it's going to be that first child. Okay, so now we've got the stats up here. So we've got a label for the name, let's say, and then I'll add another label. We'll say like attack 0. Okay, and we'll say, I don't know, defense 100. Okay, we'll keep that 0. Okay, so now that's there, right? And you can organize those however you want. You can make more cool stuff up here, anything like that. But then what we'll do is in each of these scenes, we're actually going to do a few things. So for one thing, I'm going to make a signal, and then so we'll say, because I don't think we can say focus entered. Say is underscore focused. Right, and then we'll apply some things to that in a second. Okay. This should not go above the ready function. Okay, on button focus entered, modulate that. So we're going to have two functions now. So this function is going. This is a signal that's going to shoot up information to the VBox container here and contain information about the player. So you might make a dictionary, right? Or you might make export vars. In my case, I'm going to do export vars. So I'll make export var name equals that. Yeah, we'll just do it this way. Okay, and we'll change these so that go attack, defense. Okay. Typically, I would use a dictionary for this, and you could like load this data from somewhere. Even easier than shader, just use texture button when you give it. Yeah, you could use it just a texture button, but the shader is like, someone probably wrote that shader. Like if you go to like Godot shaders, someone probably has a silhouette shader on here that you can literally just copy and paste into your code, and it works, which is nice. Oh, that's cool, outline. Let's see if that comes up with anything. Huh. I don't know, but you could probably Google Godot silhouette shader. Yeah, so people have got it. It's actually like a really easy thing to do. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, let's hop back here. So we'll say name, for instance, we'll say Joe, attack. We'll actually make these ints. So we'll say 10, defense 20, right? Doesn't really matter for right now. And then what we'll do here is in signal is focused. What we'll do is we'll send these, so we'll say name, well, you want to put like here, underscore name, underscore ATK, and then underscore D. Okay, and then what we'll have here, let's say function underscore on set focus. Yeah, there we go. So I'll make this is gonna be my own function. So set focus, and then we're gonna say focused. Okay, and then I'm gonna say, and this is gonna be equal to a Boolean value. We're gonna say equals true by default, and we're gonna say if focused pass, else pass. Okay, so essentially what I'm gonna do is like we can call this from these ones. So I'll say modulate dot a equals 1.0, else modulate dot a equals 0.3, and then we can just do this. We can say set underscore focus, and we can say, well, here we don't need to do anything. And here we'll say set underscore focus false. False. All right, and then now that will just do exactly what we did before, but now when we're on focused, what I want to do is also say emit signal is focused, right? That's the signal we just made up here. And then what I'll do here is we can now supply those arguments. So we can put name, ATK, and DEF, okay? Now typically, like I said, this would be like a dictionary of values, and then this would just be in one argument, which is the dictionary, but here's just one way to do it. And the reason I'm doing it this way so that I don't have to make all that crazy stuff. And for all of these guys though, I do want to make the text bigger. So maybe, or I could even just do this. Let's do this. That will be as small as it can go. And then we can actually make this a little bigger like that. And then we'll go center, nope. Center top, and then I can scale it, which is a little janky. Okay, anyway, so that's a cheapy way of doing that. Okay, so now we've got that signal here. And then what I'm going to do, so yeah, there's a few ways to do this, but we're going to connect that signal. So now we have that signal here, and we're going to connect it to our control node here. Oopsies, I actually messed that up a little bit because we want this to be like a general thing. So we go here and we go to is focused. We can change, we can say, this should be underscore on underscore. Car is focused, okay? So I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna hit connect, and go here, and then we want this to, again, say that, okay? Same thing again. Tedious. So you can connect these all from code, and so that's why I would recommend doing that, but in this case, I can't really do that because, yeah. Anyway, all right, so now what we wanna do is we want to say, on ready var name label equals label. There we go. Okay, and I'm just gonna do this, and this is gonna be 2, this is gonna be 3, and then this is going to be ATK, and this will be DEF, right? Okay, and then what we'll say here is simply name label, name label dot set underscore, that's not good, okay, we'll just say text equals underscore name, and then we'll say ATK label dot text equals string ATK. Remember, because you have to do string because remember those are numbers, and otherwise you'll get an error. We'll say def label dot text equals string DEF. All right, cool. Now, but it's not working. Okay, let's go here. Is this happening? Okay, so it is receiving these signals. Oh, that's, I'm dumb. It's because we haven't actually set these guys' names here. So we've got name Joe, attack 10, 20. We've got Bob, 20, 10. We've got Billy, 15, 15. And then we've got Tank, 5, 25. Okay, anyway, so those are them. The other thing I want to do here is we want to actually make this look correct, like good. So we want to do string name, and then it's %s in Godot, and then you go, yeah, okay. Just remember, because it's different in Python. And I think it's just an array, like that. Oh, is it just %? All right, let's see. Cool. Okay. And then we'll just do something like that for these ones as well. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you actually don't have to, only if you're doing it this way, you don't have to string those because this function will string those for you. Here we say ATK, and then here we say def. All right, cool. Now we run it, and boom, there you go. Okay, so now he's got the focus, right? And then I can just swing over, and you can see that it's displaying those stats up there at the top. And there's other things you can do to like format those things. You can make sure it's capitalized. You can make things like that. You can like animate those, right? So like if you've got a progress bar, you want to show like the health, you just set that progress bar to that value. Let's see how we question: if I instance a particle 2D through code and do get parent.addChild, it works fine. But if I only do add child, the particle 2D doesn't start emitting. Any idea why? So if you just do add child, well, so I mean, I guess before I get into that, let's just say that this is just about finished. The one thing I do want to show you, in case you don't know, is that you have something cool here called a progress bar. And so if we go ahead and put this in here, like under there, so this could potentially be like, I don't know, like their attack, right? So we can actually put this like right in a whole HBox container next to the attack, and then we can have this scale up depending on how big that attack is, right? So you can set the maximum attack in a game is 50 or like something like that, and then you could have this be several bars. You could also do something else, and then you could set the value here by simply in code saying get progress bar and then set value, and then we could set the value like to a different amount. So if we set this to like, for instance, like the highest attacking game is a 15, or I mean a 50, let's say. And then, okay, Joe here has an attack of 10. So if we set this to 20, because it's out of 100, right? Hit enter, you can see now he's got like a little bar that shows his attack, and you can do this for the defense and stuff like that. So anyway, that's one of the ways you might do something like that. All right, and that's how we do that. Yeah, so then you would select that. Oh yes, there's more to it. And that is finally that you want to, here, we want to say like who is selected, right? So that way once you actually start the game, it knows who you selected. So to do that, we would just add one more thing here. Oh no, because we have name. So we can just use name. Yeah, so here what we'll do in the control, we're back in the main thing here, is we'll say var selected underscore character, selected car, equals, and we'll just leave that as an empty string right now. And then here we'll say selected car equals underscore name. And so essentially what that does is that now we'll store whoever's selected in this script, and then once if you've got a button that you know, then spawns that character elsewhere, or I mean changes the scene, right? Then when you change the scene, you can, for instance, pass along this information to like a global script or something to the next scene. And then the next scene will be able to take the selected car here and then make an instance of that. So ideally what will actually happen is that the characters will be somewhat unique in that you'll have like a dictionary of data that stores like their name, their sprites, their attack, defense, stuff like that, right? And again, you can go look at my GitHub and see exactly how I did that for the Game of Game Jam, right? And how I did that. I don't think I had a picture here, but because that's exactly what I did, right? And then what you do is like, okay, Joe, you find Joe in the dictionary, and then you spawn this base class that has all those parameters. And so that's something that's a little more complicated. I might go over that in like a tutorial or something if I ever find the time. But yeah, there's that. So we'll go ahead and call this finished unless anyone's got any other questions. Not the whole stream, but this one, about this though. I'll click unactivate. All right, now, I have the character's stats on the artwork, but the progress bar is probably better, so I don't have to make the art if I change the character's stats. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff programmatically. It's really cool. Yeah, of course, man. You asked really great questions. They're really great to show on screen or stream. Okay, Harpuya question: if I instance a particle 2D node through code and do get parent add child, it works fine. But if I only do add parent, the particle doesn't start emitting. Any idea why? So that shouldn't be a thing. The only thing I can think of is like, are you sure it's actually not emitting, or is it just because like when if you're doing like if you're setting the position and doing add child, right? It's gonna add relative to the person. It's like here, I'll do something. Oopsies. So let's do particle not spawning, not emitting. Okay. Start that. Okay, cool. So let's go back here. Okay. So here, character set. Okay, and then we'll make a new folder. Okay. Rename particles, and then we'll make a new scene here. So this will be a node 2D scene, and then I'll just add a sprite, and then we'll make icon. Go right there, okay, and then I'll put him like over here for, let's say. Now, oh, to do this, I also have to make a particles. So let's add a particles. Actually, I wonder if I have a particles in here. Oh my god. Nope, ain't got one. But okay, let's add particles 2D. Nope, not CPU. 2D. Also, this is particles 2D plus. I'm not going to use it here, but it's a add-on I made. It's on the asset lib, and it's got a lot of really handy things for particles. You should check it out. I also made a video on it if you want to see how that works. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to use this for this video so everyone knows what this is. Change like 15. Let's go to process material, new particles material, mission shape point, scale. Should do something like that so it's nice and obvious. Let's do 10. Okay, and then we'll do just a little something. Let's go to not time. Where the hell is it? Direction. There we go. Put 180. Okay, and then we'll do initial velocity. And we'll do drawing. Where is it? Is it time? No, it's up here in time. There we go. So we'll set this to like 0.9. Cool. All right. So we will go up one, and we'll set those two particles. Save. Okay. Now I'm going to save this as a scene because we have to do that. So we'll do same thing. Particles. So we have a particle scene here. Okay, I'm going to delete that. Now, I'm going to make a script for the sprite here, not this. And then what we're going to do is say, and this is how you should instance particles. On, or no, not on ready var. So say var particles equals preload. What the fuck? Preload. And then here, particles 2D scene. Drop it like that. Boom. Then we'll say function ready. And I'm just going to do something. I'm going to do, this is not necessary at all, but create, no, I'm going to do get underscore tree dot create timer 0.3 and then timeout. And so that's just going to stall for a third of a second before we actually spawn the particle, because when the game loads, it takes a few milliseconds to actually draw everything on the screen. So otherwise it would look weird. So we're going to say get underscore, I don't know, we want to say var part int equals particles dot instance. Okay. And then we'll say, well, actually, I don't have to set the global position. And then I'll just say add underscore child particles. And then this should work. Add child version of the object derived class for overarching complexity is not a subclass of the. What? I'm baffled right now. I've done this a million times. Uh-oh. I've never had that be a thing. Oh, it's because I'm a dumbass. There we go. Yeah, so that seems to work just fine. I would imagine that if you are having problems with this, and then of course if you move the sprite around, it's gonna follow him around. But like, for instance, if you were doing get whatever, you might have been doing part or whatever, your instant scene, and then saying dot, you know, like global position equals blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. But if you're doing that and then instancing it on yourself, well, here, I'll just show you actually. So we'll do this and we'll say vector to, we'll say 100, 100, right? Let's say I'm setting it there. And I do this now. As you can see, it's gonna be down there. But then of course, if I do get underscore parent dot add child, it's not gonna add it up there. So that might be something that's a problem, especially if you're not using global position. So let's see, let's try to guess. So if we do position, right? It's gonna work. And then what if we do this? Okay, now you can see it's not there. And why is it not there? Well, it's because it's all the way off screen. Because it's taking your position in this and multiplying it times. So I think that's probably, that would be my guess. That's what right when you said that, that's my assumption. So it's over here off screen right now. Let's see. Player. Let's just add a player scene here. Okay. That way I can move around. And then let's just grab this and stick it in here real quick. Actually, you know what I'll do is just do this. Okay. And then, oh, but now we're missing all those parameters. There we go. Pause your game and look at the remote tree. I don't know. I mean, this is gonna work. All right. So. Okay. Whoa, okay. All right. And then I'm actually going to get rid of the lookat function here. Change this to 100. Summation 10. Yeah, so there you go. There it is. So that's why it's spawning. So like if you say your position, right? And let's actually change this to like 30. So when you say your position, what you're saying, and you're not saying global position especially, you're saying, even if you are saying global position, right? You're saying the distance from this point to me. That's what your global position is. It's not like your point is this. Your point is the distance from this point, 0, to you. So if you're spawning that, what's going to spawn is that same vector, that same distance. But it's going to spawn it from here. So it's going to be there all the way to there. So if I move over a little bit, you can see there it is, which is approximately the distance, or should be exactly the distance actually that we were from the start. So we were like about there, right? That's that distance, and then there's the particle. So that would be my assumption of what is happening in your case, because otherwise there's no reason that wouldn't work. I've definitely done that before. I use it in, like I use it for, whatchamacallit, like flash. Muzzle flash, there we go. On a lot of my guns, I always do a particle effect and I add it. Also, like I'll do actually on Lunar Bastion. So I'll open this up here. I show you a few examples of some particle effects where I'm doing that. I'm adding it to the child. So if we do machine gun. Okay, so his muzzle flash here is doing that. Also, you can see the shell being ejected. That is a new particle effect that's being added. These are actually being added. Actually, I think these might be added to the global position. But oh no, the muzzle flash is local position. The shell is global position, but the muzzle flash is local position. So yeah, you can see that it clearly does work, and you can do stuff like that. Anyway, okay. All right. See if anyone's got any more questions. I'm gonna head back to this guy real quick. It does not look like it. Speak now and forever hold your peace. I would like to keep going, but I'm not going to scrounge for questions. So pop one in the chat, or preferably go to the description, go to the Google form and submit it here, and then I can see that, and then I can get down to answering that one. Also, let me push all my changes to GitHub real quick. Everything we've talked about today is going to be available on the GitHub. I don't even know, I did so much stuff. Sure. Okay, cool, all right. So, oh yeah, we can actually go back to the original Dubuni thing. So, go back to follower, and I want to figure this out. I would love to get this working. I don't really know why. So what's currently happening is that the follower is not following the path, right? Or is not moving across those lines. Okay, bar points, leader.curve.getBaked point. So we do that on every frame. Okay, then we say if points var point equals points 0. So we can do the first point. Yeah, for sure. And then let me know if that doesn't work, and I'll get into that. Also, something we forgot to do is actually hit this. Completed. Fantastic. Okay, cool. All right. So it's doing this, and it should say this, or it should work, right? If our distance, If the distance between us and the player is greater than 200, so if we're 200 pixels away from the player or more, then we want to global position equals the next point in the list. We want to remove that point. Okay. Yeah. And then we should look at the next point. Because then physics process follow, we're still doing that. Something happening in leader. Okay, so what if we go here, say, print points, oh, print point, right. God damn it, okay. Wait, why is everything wonky? It was working before. Oh, that is because the line 2D on leader, probably, no, it is still there. Oh, because we said start position equals our global position, we want this to be line dot global position. There we go. Okay. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's just for illustrative purposes. That's still. Why does this look like my screen's like twisting? Anyway, let's just go back here and set the leader back to 0, because that will fix the issues. And realistically, this would be a little different. Okay, so if we go here, why is it not? Also, I do think I want to increase the bake interval on the path to something like, let's do 60, see how that works. Yeah, that's a much smoother line. So, and it's like, it's mostly working, but I just don't understand why he won't. Get closer to me. I do, however, want to give the tween another shot, so let's do that real quick. Okay. Okay, and then here we'll do dot interpolate property self global position. Global position point. 0.1 maybe, and then we'll do tween dot sign. He's out. Okay. Okay, cool. I don't think that's gonna fix anything, but let's see if that works. Still working, but it's just not working as it should. So we're printing the point. That's kind of pointless though. This is better to print. That's not what I want. Let's do just that. So that way, let's change those to prints. So it's still printing, but our globe position. So okay, so that means this is weird. So this means this is evaluating to true, but it's not doing it. What? No way. Why is that happening? It's not, so it's clearly not removing the point, right? Thanks, Arpuya. Yeah, so this is, someone asked about making like a follower mechanic. So yeah, pretty much, we want the character to follow, but for some reason he's not finishing up on that trail. So like if I run here, it says that as long as he's farther than 200 pixels away from me, he should keep following the path. And then the path is just for our visual reference, right? And so you can see that the point here is the same point, and we know that this is obviously larger than 200 pixels. So it does not make a sense why it's not translate. I mean, it's giving it the same point, right? So this is clearly not removing the point. We go to leader, curve dot remove point 0. Go to this, just to make sure. I want to do print that. Okay, come back to follower, get rid of this print. Okay, let's make sure that this is actually removing the points. Yeah, so we never have more than 60 points, our max points. Thanks, man. Yeah, sorry I couldn't help you with that camera issue. Let me know if it's still going on in Discord, and I'll try to help you out. Visioning was the, okay. Curve 2D, okay. Add points, get baked length, get baked points, get closest, blah, blah, blah. So you can only get the baked points. Get baked length, get baked points, which is weird. Why can't I get the raw points? Maybe because it just prevents me from doing it? That's fine. Okay, so we'll just do get baked points. Get underscore baked points. And then I'm gonna go back here and change this back to 100, so that way this isn't a massive list. I think I fucking know why, dude. No, that still shouldn't matter. But okay, so here was the idea, was that because we're doing create curve only in the movement function, we are, but no, yeah. So we're only adding and removing points while we're moving, but the curve still exists, right? So there's no reason why oh, I think I know why. I think this is not actually removing the point. We have to do, yes, that's why, okay. Because essentially what we're doing is basically creating a copy of this, right? So we're getting the big points. So what we need to do, there should be like remove point. Yeah, that's what we need to do. So points, so we need to do leader dot curve dot remove underscore point 0. Okay. Actually, let's get rid of that print because I hate that. Please work. Ew. There we go. Okay. So we've solved one problem and created another, and now he follows too closely. I think part of the way we can fix that is to actually go into the follower tween and just change this time to something like 1 second. I don't know, he's getting awful close to me. I don't know why, but okay. So this is the other thing. Now that this is working, I would like to do it the other way, which was if, well, no, we'll just do this. So we'll say if global position, if leader dot global position dot distance to point is greater than 200. Yeah, so as long as the point itself is farther away than 200. There we go. Now he'll never come. Oh, except because we are using a tween, yeah, because we're using a tween, global position equals point. Because we're using a tween, it's not actually going to follow the path. But now we're having that same weird error there. Where like it stops and then it's not smooth anymore. Okay, first off, let's fix the baked length again. Here's just 260. Okay. Now it's a much smoother line for him to follow. And again, we're getting this weird start and stopping behavior. And I thought that the whole point of this was that would fix that, because it should be baking the points. So if we add 2 points too close to each other, it should essentially kind of interpolate between them, right? And make sure that, you know, we only have a certain length on the line. So we can, for instance, the big interval is 60. So if we spawn 2 points that are closer than 60 pixels together, it will essentially interpolate the next one to be either farther or delete that point, right? Which is the idea. But it does not look like this is the working. And I don't really know how a path follow, follow 2D works, but let's check it out. without coding the movement pattern. For that, the nodes must be children of this node. For that, the nodes must be children of this node. The second nodes will move accordingly when setting an offset this node. The distance along the path in pixels. That's cool. This node takes its parent path 2D and returns the coordinates of a point within it, given the distance from the first vertex. I think I just had a little breakthrough. I'm not going to use this, but I think I just had a little bit of a breakthrough. So I don't want to do this anymore. And then that actually might just solve it right there. No, it doesn't solve shit. What was my thought process? My thought process was that because he's doing the removing. Oh, does it move the whole thing over? Oh no, we still want... Okay, actually no, I still want this. But in the follower, what I want him to do is still basically munch out these points. Every frame, right? So we'll do a little something like this. Essentially, we're saying if points, leader.curve.remove point 0, right? But it should have to do that after all this, right? Let's do this. Else. That is weird to me that that's not working. Oh, well this shouldn't be there anymore. But I don't think that's why. I should still be making points. So it's only 2 points. Oh, it's only 1 point because it's being deleted immediately. So like after this. So we should say points 0. So this is going to get us that first point. Print that. Oh, I see now. Basically what I want to happen is I want him to start like removing the points once the player stops. So we can say if leader.velocity equals 0. If leader.velocity equals vector to 0. We can do that. Say if leader.velocity equals vector. Why does it not help me out here? Oh. Vector 2. Oh, we can just say dot 0. And we still want to do this. So we'll do it here, but then we'll also do it there. Let's see. So it's actually a tiny bit better, ironically. The only thing we want is to tween now to the start point. Okay. So we'll make a flag here. Var started equals false. Okay. And then I'm going to get rid of, I don't want to get rid of this tween. I'll keep it right there for right now. So essentially, if points, right? I'm surprised this is not, oh, it is causing a lag. It's going to say right here, it's out of range. So this should just go in here, right? Because we just want that to happen if there's points. Let's make sure that that's working now. Okay, cool. Okay, now what I want to say is that right here I'll say else, or no, say elif. So this means that elif, his velocity is not equal to 0, right? And what we want to do is eventually say, or essentially say, and not started. And then here it will say started equals false. Okay. Yep, that'll work. And then if not started, we'll say started equals true. And then what we'll do is this. And we'll make this much faster. So we'll make this like 0.1. So that's not totally going to fix it, but that should. Okay, so I still think we want that in there. I mean, I probably shouldn't just here's what we'll do. Okay, so we'll put this in here, and we'll say if started, do this. And then we'll say else, do this. Except we do need to change it a little bit here. Else, do this. Okay. Now, so the problem with this is that you're not going to finish the tween before we start resetting the global position. So yeah, what I'm going to do is go back to the follower, and I'm going to connect. I was trying to think of a way to do it other than this, but this will work. Okay, so I'm going to say started equals true. Okay, and just like that. All right, and then we can remove this here. So essentially what will happen is that we will start doing this after this has completed, although that might pose a little bit of a problem. No, that should be okay, actually. This should work out. We'll actually change this to 0.2 even. All right, let's see. Oh, you know what? I'd assume. Weird. If leader dot velocity start equals. Ah, okay. So we don't actually want to do. Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks for coming. Really enjoyed everybody. Okay, I feel like I'm very, very close here. So what I'm gonna do is say if not started, stick this in there. Put that there. Okay. Okay, and then what I'd like to do is do set physics process false. And then here we'll say set underscore physics process true. I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah, that's even worse. Oopsies. Okay, so what the problem is, right, is that when we start, like right here, when I start, what's happening is that started is being set to false. Before the tween completes. So here we should just do, let's see if this works, tween dot stop. Invalid call to expected 1 arguments. Stop underscore all. Huh. That's weird. Very, very weird, because so he's tweening and it's finishing, right? So it's oh, I guess it's not finishing? That's weird. I also only had like 5 hours of sleep last night, so just give me a little sauce, okay? I don't think this will work, but let's see. Yep, I've broken it. It almost worked. Okay, so what exactly is happening, right? Is that we are, well here, let's actually get rid of the physics process thing. So we start, and he didn't tween to it. So he tweened to it there, but for some reason he's not finishing the tween, right? Does it look smooth enough though? Because no, it's not smooth enough. So I think I see what the problem is. The problem is that we run this once, but then the next physics frame comes and then it does this, right? It removes that point. Or, I'm sorry, it doesn't remove that point, but it basically trumps the tween. So it should work if I set physics process to false. We should get this. Right here. Well, that was fast. Well, I'm just wondering. So now it's like kind of working, but it still doesn't look smooth, right? He's still like definitely. Which is weird because it wasn't working when we were doing it the other way. Which was literally just to do this, right? And then if I just comment this out, then why is that snapping? Oh, I see. It's because we're starting those points on ourself. So it has to jump to that distance. So because this point spawns here, right? And then it has to move 200. So then the gap is 400. So it's skipping 200 pixels to get to that original 200 pixel line, which is the problem. Stopping is nice and smooth though, which is nice. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of all this like started and tween stuff. So I don't think I'm gonna be using the tween. Again, we have decided to stop the tween. Okay, and we can get rid of that. I'm determined to solve this though. Okay, so quick question, what does it look like now? Like not much different, right? So exactly the same. Okay, now the idea here that I just had is like we can use a linear interpretation with the alpha value, not alpha, the t value as a distance. So again, we would say global position equals lerp global position to point by t, right? So I'll put t here, and then we'll define t right here. Var t equals 0. So it's not going to be 0 in reality, but I need to figure out how we want to calculate t. So t is the amount between these two that it will interpolate, right? And so essentially what I want is that if it's closer to the player, I want it to interpolate less. So I want it to be like 0.1. But if he's far away from the player, I want the interpolate to be almost equal to 1. So actually though, so for right now I'm going to set this as 0.5, just so we can see what this looks like. Yeah, see, it's not a whole lot better, but that wasn't the point. The point was because I just wanted to see if I go into, or sorry, our leader here, and now if I change the max curve length, does that do anything or no? No, that doesn't change the follow length. No, does not change the follow length. The follow length is totally dependent upon. Yeah, because we're not even doing that. We don't even need that thing anymore. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So, okay, so we will say var max follow distance. And we'll say that this is equal to the max follow distance here. And then we'll actually, yeah, I'll do, so this is going to be a constant. And then we'll do constant min follow distance equals 200. Oh, we have to define this. Let's do like 800. We'll see what that looks like. So min follow distance, min follow distance. Okay. Okay, and then what we want to do here is say t is equal to our max follow distance divided by our leader dot goal position dot distance too. I'm gonna say, I'm actually gonna do this too. Var distance to leader equals this, because we're using it so many times that it's weird to have to do it so many times. I'm actually going to rename that to point distance to, now it's too long, bro. Point dist to leader. Okay. That's still a big word, but whatever. Point dist to leader. So var t equals max follow distance divided by that. But we want a percent, right? So if you wanted a percent of 100, you wouldn't do 100 divided by 70. You do 70 divided by 100. So this should be, oh, I'm ready for new Crocs. I don't know if y'all saw that. All right, now let's do print t. What? Do minus 200 here. Minus min follow distance. What the? Because the problem is, like, the distance to leader here will be never less than 200, right? So it'll be like 200. So 200 divided by 800 is going to give us like what, 0.4 almost? So, oh, because we get a divide by 0 error, right? All right, so let's do a few things here. Let's do this. Let's do clamp that. So value, the minimum being 0 and the maximum being 1, right? So that will make sure that this can't go over 1 here. And then, because if it gets really close to 0, I mean, that's really weird that happened. I mean, this is definitely like not acceptable. I mean, there's just so many things that are wrong with this, but I don't know, dude. It's kind of killing me that I can't figure that out. Well, at least now I've figured out the part that doesn't make sense, but there just should be a better way to do this. Like, how about we... All right, I didn't want to do this, but so when we create curve, we're adding a point at our global position, right? So what I want to do is then add our velocity plus velocity. Right, so the velocity, so we actually want to do minus velocity. No, we want to do input vector, minus input vector. Okay, so I essentially want this point to spawn 200 pixels behind us. So our global position, and then you subtract the input vector. Right, so if we're pointing this way, if we're pointing to the right, if we subtract the input vector times 200. Yeah, okay. So that would mean that if we're moving to the right, we're going to spawn exactly this point 200 to the left. Oh, that's weird. We could also do this, right? Var frame equals 0. Frame plus equals 1. And then we'll say if frame equals 4, or we'll say greater than or equal to 4 just to be safe. Greater than or equal to 4. Say frame equals 0. And do that. So the idea here is that now we'll only do this every 4 frames. That's ugly as hell. Which is every other frame. No, so that's not gonna work. That's crazy to me that you do every frame and it's constant, you know. So this doesn't work. I mean, even if we got rid of the lerp, that wouldn't work. Well, how about we stop doing this? Hold on.
Hi, baby.
Here's my baby baby. I know you can see. She cool as hell. Okay, so I think we are getting a little bit closer, although now I'm having second thoughts about using the curve, and I kind of want to just use a regular array. Because it's not doing what I expected it to do, which is that it's actually, well, because we're not using it the way it's supposed to be used. Come on, Bubba. No, you know you gotta go sideways. There we go. Okay. What are you doing? Just you lie down, okay? You guys can probably hear a bunch of bean noises down here. Okay. So we're no longer going to remove the points if we're stopped. But now, essentially what that means is we have to make sure we make the points more responsibly. So, we can just, without breaking anything, I can change the bake interval and make it like 5 again. And then essentially I'll do my own baking thing. So we will take into account essentially the last point, right? So what I'll do is I'll say var last point, var last underscore point, and then I'll just do vector 2. I'm not going to define it, and then I'm going to say last point equals global position, add point last underscore point. Okay, and then so now what's going to happen is that we've got our last point. We stored this, so then next time we can check if it is a certain distance. So we'll say essentially now we can set our own bake length. So what I'll do is I'll make an export var here. So I'll do export var bake interval. And we'll set this equal to, like, how far do I want these in between each other? We'll actually set that to 60, right? And then here I'll just do basically the same thing. I'll say before we do this, we'll say if last point, actually last point should be, I'll just do this. If last point and last point dot distance to global position is greater than, or should it greater than or equal to our bake interval. So essentially, we're baking the points. So if the point is at least 60 pixels away from the previous point, then we add that point. No! Okay, I know exactly what's happening here. So if we go ahead and we print points here, right, you'll only see one point. We'll see no points. Oh, okay. Oh. I'm so dumb. So we need last point to be on ready var equals global position. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's ugly. All right, well, okay. Lots of problems. I feel like I should stop. But, I don't know, man. I hate that I can't solve this. I feel like one thing to do would be to do, like, movement. Like, I could actually just basically copy this movement in here. So we do something like this into our follower. Okay, and then I'll get rid of that. And then we'll go to leader. And I'll yoink this, but we don't need, yeah, okay. Okay, so, we gotta do, okay, and then here, Or actually, I don't need to make a movement function. I'll just stick this in follow. I feel like I'm so close that I would really like to do this. Max 12,000. Okay, so. So input vector else velocity equals that. I'm basically going to do this. So velocity. Yes. Okay. Here we go. And then right here, I'm going to say velocity. Well, I can do this here. Equals. Oh no, we say down. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. Else, and then we'll say global. We gotta fix these. First off, let's do this. Okay, so if points equals 0, point distance to leader equals distance to point. If point is greater than follow distance, then we're going to do this stuff. Okay. Now the problem is input vector is not defined. Well, it is, but it's 0, right? Let me do this, because that's confusing me. And then let's do this, else, that, and then we need to make sure I put this back in here. Okay, so if point distance to leader, so if we should follow the path, input vector equals, input vector does not equal, so we don't need this anymore. We don't need input vector. But rather than input vector, what we want is we want global position dot direction 2, and then the direction 2 we want is the point. Right? Yeah, direction times amount. Velocity equals my fill. Okay, so we don't need input vector. So now it should speed up to move towards that point, essentially. Let's see what this looks like, although I think there's going to be more we're going to have to do. But he's not moving. Oh, because we're not... Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Okay, because we're not actually applying the velocity. Also, no more of that. So we have to do, because yes! Okay. Move and slide velocity. Or not. Let's do print velocity. Oh yes, because now we need to change this. Instead of being distance to the leader again, we now need to change this to distance to leader. And then, well, I'm just going to delete this. Okay. And then we need to actually say distance to cell, or we can just do goal position. Because we want to say, yeah, essentially that, rather than follow the point. I know what's happening. It's because he's removing the point, and thus this is evaluating to false, and thus we're not moving and sliding. Oh wait, so then I could theoretically do this. No, that's not good. Wait, could we just cache all the input vectors? Oh my god, dude. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give up. But anyway, the thought I just had, because this is not working. I mean, so one thing you could do is that essentially you make a list of the points, and then once you get to each point, then you remove that point. But you don't remove it until you get to that point, right? That would be one thing. The other thing would be for the leader to, rather than cache points on a curve, we would cache our input vectors. So every frame, we would take our input vector, and then we would stick it in a thing, right? And then here, what we do is we would say if, okay, I gotta try that. Okay. So essentially what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to make a new variable called var IVs equals that, okay? And then here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say input or IVs dot append input vector. Okay, so append input vector. And then what we'll do here, so I'm actually going to comment all this out for right now. Yeah, comment all that out. Well, including this. And then so we'll say var input. Yeah, so we'll say var input vector or vector. So var input vector equals leader dot IVs dot pop underscore front. Okay, so this will give us that first value. This is like just sad at this point, I know, but bear with me. So now all we're gonna do, because the input vector should always be normalized, but just in case, I'm gonna do this. Okay, now, each frame we're gonna copy that, but again, we do wanna do this. Bar distance to leader equals leader dot goal position. So we'll say if leader dot IVS and distance to leader is greater than min follow distance. So if he has input vectors in that, and then what we need to do, because we're popping front so that we don't need to remove it. So we'll get the input vector from that list. Then we normalize the input vector. And then if input vector does not equal 0, we just move towards that input vector. All right, let's give it a shot, eh? Oh god, that's not working at all. Why would that not work? Okay, so it is running this. Oh, because I'm not Aaron. That's almost exactly the same as just telling it to follow me. In fact, it is. But we could put like a delay. Yeah, man, I don't know. I've come up with 101 ways not to make someone follow the player. I mean, I guess it is better than that because he is like at least doing that shit. Like he's actually following the path that I took. Oh, but you know what we could do is give him much slower acceleration. Ah, but then the problem comes that once we reach 0, we then need to move towards player. All right, let's do, first of all, let's stop doing this line. All right. So now, what I want to happen is that So I think we want this to go a little bit differently because yeah, so we're not even getting the distance to the person, right? We're just saying if it equals 0, stop. But that's not quite what we want because we only want it to stop if we get, let's do this times 2. And then let's also do, technically we should have deceleration, but I'm not going to. This will be, oops, this is the leader, isn't it? Yep, yes it is. That's good. Okay, so technically what we want here is to say if so again, dist to leader, dist okay, so if our distance to leader is less than or equal to our min follow distance, then we move towards 0 by acceleration times 2. Let's make sure I didn't fuck that up there. Yeah, okay. So we'll slow down if we get close enough to him. And then essentially, if input vector does not equal 0, I'm gonna do it like this. We're gonna go to this, and we're gonna say else. We're so close, dude. We're so close. Okay. So if the distance to leader is less than our min follow distance, then we're going to move towards, we're going to slow down, right? This assumes that it is greater than that distance, then we want to move along the path. Right, perfect. No, this won't work. Well, this will work in a top-down perspective. If you're trying to go for a top, this will work. But if you're trying to get him to like jump and stuff, it won't work. But I think in a top-down perspective, this should work just fine. Although we'd probably want to change the acceleration and stuff a wee bit to make it a little better. Okay, input vector dot normalize velocity. What did I want to do here? I wanted to say that essentially if check here, I say if input vector equals vector2 dot 0, then we redefine input vector as equal to global position dot direction to leader dot global. That's weird. Okay, yeah. So if it equals vector2.0, then we just move straight towards the guy. Essentially, that's what we're gonna do. All right. I'm expecting to be very sad, but let's see. Oh, that's weird. Fuck. A distance leader is less than or equal to our minimum follow distance. Oh, well, I know why that's happening, because crate curve is here. all we gotta do now is put create curve right here. Or put it right here. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Fuck, he should still be following me. What the fuck? Yo, what's happening? Oh, we're already doing this. Okay. Okay. Evoluted Ivies. Alright, let's see. Oh my god, I did that shit again. Motherfucker. Alright, I think this acceleration on the follower is just a tad bit too low. Change this to like 50. That's a really interesting behavior. That's definitely not what I was looking for. I don't know, man. Fuck it. I'm giving up. This is not the way to go, though. The way to go was something along the vein of the Path Follow 2D, but yeah. For a box art, you want a more high fidelity illustration than your actual game, but went away. Your actual game, but one that looks like your actual game, at least. Yeah, I feel that. All right, guys. I will probably come back to this in my free time just to figure this out. I'm so annoyed that I can't do it right now, but hopefully I'll be able to figure it out later. Yeah, sounds good. All right. So with that, I bid you adieu. thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to try and take part in the Godot Jam. And yeah, thanks so much, and have a great day.